Hi, my name is Bob Burton, and I'm a citizen of the United States of America. As a citizen of any country, I think it's a duty of a person to have respect for their country, but at the same time, if you have a government in your country, it's your duty as a citizen to keep your government in check with the people, because the government should answer to the people as much as the people should answer to the government. In 1991, while being a student of Glenville State College, I became interested in the subject of psychedelics. I read reports on a natural occurring plant known here in the United States as morning glories. And I read reports that the seeds of morning glories contained psychedelic agents. So after reading the initial reports, I went to the college library to the books of the FDA. I believe it was a 1968 or 1969 version of the Food and Drug Administration's reports on different substances. And I read about morning glories, and it said that it was a 100% myth, that the seeds did contain no psychedelic agents whatsoever. So, with two conflicting documents of information about morning glory seeds, I was left to try for myself an experimentation to see who was telling the truth. The reports I read first, I believe one of the books was written by Aldous Huxley. I also read a report in the Anarchist Cookbook that morning glory seeds contain psychedelic agents, or whether the Food and Drug Administration was right, it was just a myth. So after crushing morning glory seeds into a powder and trying them myself, I found out that the United States government is willing to tell people lies. Now in this case, it's a very simple reasoning why they would do the lie. It is because they thought that the United States citizens couldn't handle the truth. The story behind it, how this came to be with the morning glory seeds, were botanists went to South America and they discovered morning glory seeds and the pretty flowers that grew from them. They brought them back to the United States, and pretty soon people around the country were growing them in their backyards for their appearance. Then anthropologists also down in South America had their own purpose of study, and they found out that shamans in the rainforest were using the same seeds from the same plant that had already come back to America. And these men and women, whoever the shamans might be, were taking mind trips, spiritual journeys into the spirit world using these seeds. And therefore, since they were already widespread through America and there was no way they could control it and take them back once they were out there, all they could do was spread misinformation to attempt to make sure that the use was never taken by citizens. My problem with that is that first of all, the control, whether or not the government has the right to control what you do with your own personal body and mind. And secondly, the use of misinformation to manipulate that. So this is the first in a series of videos that will discuss my beliefs and thoughts and some information that is known, documented fact about various times in the United States history where lies may have been used to manipulate citizens' concept of historical events. But this first video here, which is the initial one, some of these will be conspiracy theories. This one is a conspiracy I can verify for myself from my own experimentation when I was only 19 years old. So I found out at a rather young age, I'm 47 now, that the government is willing to tell lies, or has been. Now I don't want to make it out that the government, because government's made up of people, and people can change the government at any time. As the people change, the government will change. What I would like to change is the fact I'm not trying to overthrow the government. I'm not trying to undermine the government. What I'm trying to do is make sure that the government uses truth and education to manipulate society rather than lies to manipulate society, because I think as citizens we have a right to the truth. That should be an inalienable right. When our inalienable rights are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Now we can discuss whether or not those rights have already been infringed upon and we have already been alienated from them. But another one of those rights that we should have is that our government tell us the truth. That's what I feel as a citizen of the United States. This concludes video number 1.